Well, just in time for World Greek Heritage Day, the ROM, or Royal Ontario Museum, is showcasing one of its amazing findings from the Acropolis dating back to 510 BC. Kore 760 is especially important because of the fact that some of its original color is still intact. Now, the museum has set up an online tour, activity books in conjunction with this special exhibit, or you can see for yourself and just go to the ROM tomorrow as free admission on every third Tuesday of the month returns. So joining us live now from Alexander Square at the heart of Greektown on the Danforth is the executive director of the Greektown on the Danforth BIA, Mary Fragadakis. Mary, thanks for joining us so bright and early on this Easter Monday to talk about this. Let's talk about this sculpture because it's pretty remarkable, dating back to 520 BC. But what exactly does Kore mean in Greece?
It means daughter. It means daughter, and it's a very spectacular piece of architecture on loan from the Acropolis Museum to the ROM, and obviously we're very excited. And I know that the Consulate General of Greece, the ROM, and the Acropolis Museum have made this arrangement to celebrate the 80th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Canada and Greece. So it's exciting to have that here in Toronto because it doesn't often leave the Acropolis Museum, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Right, and Mary, when people look at this statue, it is from the Archaic period. What's so significant about this piece being from the Archaic period versus the Classical period, which is what most people are familiar with when they look at Greek art, architecture, and art?
Well, I mean, typically people expect that everything is like chiseled from marble and it's all white, but this particular piece of art is actually painted, and it's significant because much of the paint, while it's faded, is quite visible, and it's actually very intricately carved, so you could actually see the braids in the hair. So it's very much, you know, and it's pretty intact.
Mm-hmm. And Mary, I did some research, and I know that a lot of these Kore, these daughters or young ladies or maidens, were carved out by wealthy Greek citizens as gifts or offers to gods. In this case, a gift to the goddess Athena. So can you talk a bit about that history and how this was kind of a tradition back in the day?
Well, and the patron saint of Athens, and you know, kind of eventually what would become the center of democracy. I mean, obviously this sculpture is from the 6th century BC, and sort of the classical period of Athens is really the 5th century BC, but that kind of was when democracy really it comes to be known, and so sort of it's the link between the 6th to the 5th as we start to move into the 4th at the time of Alexander the Great and the expansion of Hellenism to the then you know, parts of Asia, Northern Africa. So it's kind of a continuous history, and it's, you know, dates back from that time where, you know, sculptures were made and commissioned and, you know, for the gods.
Mm-hmm. So Mary, let's talk about how people here in Toronto can enjoy or mark this World Greek Heritage Day. What are some activities that the Greektown BIA is doing today?
Well, we have on display throughout the year quite a bit of public art that is a tribute to our cultural heritage. We have a number of murals throughout the business improvement area, both on Danforth and on Pape. We also have sidewalk art that we had installed last year that is of the 12 gods and goddesses of Olympus at different corners throughout the BIA, and we actually added a 13th god, Dionysius, into one of what was last year one of the parklets as part of Cafe TO. So people can walk around and have a look at those. They're also up on our website with explanations and a little bit more background. Last year when we had the art installed, we also had coloring pages that people could the kids can download from the website as they learned more about the 12 gods and goddesses of Olympus. And we're also going to be, later this year, obviously it's a little too cold right now, but we're also going to have a new piece of public art, another mural that's going to be here painted in the BIA, and we're really excited about that. But we want people to come out and have a look at that public art. You know, come here to Alexander the Great Parkette, which is really the center of our business improvement area and kind of the center of this neighborhood, and in the spirit of the public square from back in the day of, like, you know, the 6th and 5th century before Christ. So that is, come here and sort of feel a bit of the old world, and at the same time, you know, exhibit and experience the new world, and visit our businesses and our retailers. It's been a tough couple of years, and we're excited about coming out of this period.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sounds like there's a lot to do in Greektown. Mary Fragadakis, Executive Director of the Greektown BIA, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Have a good day.